Welcome to the S.E.M podcast. I'm your host today, Zach Hewlett, and today I am joined by our good friend Sasha Bogomolova, now Sasha Verdegem. Sasha, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Good.
Yeah, just a bit stressed about the whole thing, but I'm
Oh,
glad that
no,
finally we could.
no stress whatsoever. I mean, ultimately, this is the truth according to you. This is your podcast, and no one's going to refute you. Maybe Kevin will, but that's for later. So tell us, what part of the world do you guys? Where do you guys live now?
Well, Belgium.
Okay.
Belgium, it's somewhere in Europe, um, center of Europe somewhere. It's count like center. Uh, but
What city in Belgium are you in?
we live um, in a little village, Ursel. It's not
Ussel.
so Ursel, but I've worked in Brugge, Bruges. Everybody
Okay.
knows Bruges, so I
Yeah.
mean the Venice, yeah,
Yeah, the
the
Venice.
of the north, yes.
I love it. All
Um,
right. So you've listened to the podcast. You're familiar with the format. So we'll talk about your anticipation and your decision to go
oh,
on a mission. Then we'll talk after the mission, and then we'll go back through the mission, companions, and memories. So I'm going to give the microphone to you, Sasha. Go ahead.
okay. Uh, so about going on a mission. Well, I'm a current. I was converted to church. Well, the church. I was converted. No, I joined the church when I was 14, and since then I was really fascinated by the missionaries. And I thought, little did I knew back then, that I thought that they're like angels. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I really want to be like them. They're amazing. But yeah, then eventually I saw it from different perspective when I was a missionary myself. They're not so angelic anymore. But yeah. Anyway, so since I was 14, really want to go on a mission. And then back then it still was 21 when girls were allowed to go on a mission. When
Hmm.
I turned 21, I finished my college in economy, and then I was like, actually, I don't want to go on a mission. I really want to find a nice, fine young man. I want to marry, and I want to have a family. That's it. I didn't want to go on a mission anymore.
Hmm.
But the then I was going to, as always, we go to all the different conventions. We go like to different things, and then we're trying to keep in touch with as many people as we can from our mission. And then my friend, Alona, she had LDS link up. I don't know if you know what LDS link up is.
I can't say that I do.
It's like it's before Facebook, or when Facebook wasn't a thing.
Uh
There
huh.
was a kind of Facebook thing. It's called LDS link up for people to keep in touch from, I don't know, among members of the church,
Okay.
LDS.
Yeah.
And she had a bunch of friends there, and Kevin was her friend. And she said, "Oh, look, he served in his mission in Scotland as well. Do you wanna um, do you know him?" I was like, "Yeah, I've met him. Sure, I'll join LDS Link Up because I want to like keep in touch with him, like with any other,
Hmm.
people from my mission." So I did, and then we started writing to each other. But anyways, I went too far away from different perspective. Again, I
Yeah.
skipped the mission,
No,
and we
you're
go back.
okay. So
No,
again,
well,
tell me about your decision to go on a mission.
yes, back then. Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
I Before all this link up. It's even farther away. Anyways, I wanted to always serve a mission. Then I was 21, didn't want to go on a mission. And then the whole year I was considering, I really, what am I supposed to do? I was even praying, fasting to Heavenly Father. I was like, okay, I want to go on a mission. Like everyone who I knew from church, they were like, oh, you're 21. How about you're going to go on a mission? I was like, I don't want to go. Girls can choose. So I was like, they cannot be forced. So, and then at some point during the institute class, like Institute of Religion, I when we were talking about Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery, they were um, standing on the street, and they had to like proclaim and just preach there on the street. And I felt a burning desire just to do the same thing. I want to go outside, tell
Wow.
people about this. And I felt so strongly so that I moved away a little bit on the back. I was like, said a quick prayer. I was like, Heavenly Father, is that what you want me to do? Like right now? Oh, because I was praying about, okay, I want to do this, people want to do that, but what do you want me to do right now? And at the whole year I was like wondering about this. And then eventually I got this answer. Then I went to talk to my branch president, and he said, yeah, I knew you're going to go on a mission. I was like, great, everybody knew except for me. And then, yes, I was preparing my papers because goes a little bit different for people from Ukraine and Russia and that part of the world. So you prepare papers, you send them in, and you wait for, could be a month, could be like very long time.
Hmm.
But then all this time, I had a feeling that I'm gonna be somewhere in Great Britain. I just had
Really?
this feeling that I knew that's gonna be somewhere there. But my greatest desire, you will not believe it, my greatest desire would be to go to Scotland. Like
Really?
really,
Oh my
really.
gosh,
But
that's cool.
I knew there's plenty of people from Russia, Belarus, Ukraine who would go to England, and no one who went to Scotland. No
Hmm.
one. So I was like, that's a long shot. So I mean, but I can dream. But I felt that it's gonna be somewhere in Great Britain. I was like, I'm just curious to know. And so when I got my mission call, this white envelope, called all my friends to our home. Like I remember it right now. I'm opening and reading this line by line. And then I read this Scotland Edinburgh mission. I was like, what? And everybody like started crying, laughing, and springing, jumping and rejoicing. It was like, that's just like all my dreams come true. It's
Wow,
Scotland. I'll be able to go to Scotland. I just like could not believe it.
that's amazing. And so time frame wise, I think you were in the MTC in February of 2004, correct?
Yes, yes.
Because you were in Jack's group.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
had many people actually in that group yeah, I served around back then. Parmenter, um,
Yeah.
the brass, all the brass, and uh, yeah, the Stratton.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, who else? There were so many. All the brass. Ah, I said brass. Oh,
I knew what
sorry.
you meant.
And then obviously I served with this two wonderful sisters,
Hmm.
Sister Barker and Sister Samis. Oh, that's
That's right. They were in your group. I forgot about that.
yeah. They were my companions. So poor ladies, sisters, because I was always behind. Because obviously my like okay, before going on a mission, I wrote down there that okay, I can speak English. I thought that I knew English, and I was like, I'm gonna go if I have to. I'm gonna go to MTC, and I'm gonna teach me more, right?
Hmm.
And then I'm going to Preston MTC, where they don't teach the language.
That's
And it
true.
it was like, all of a sudden I'm thrown into this ocean, and everybody speak language that I know just a little bit about, you
Yeah.
know. So I was carrying this dictionary in my hand all the time, and I was like, like my gospel knowledge was, I mean, over the roof because I finished seminary, I finished institute, like I read my scriptures, know like everything, the scripture mastery, everything. But
Right.
then like I was behind because I couldn't even understand the question. So I had to translate question. Then I had to translate my answer. So it always would take forever. All those
Yeah.
essays. And as well, the president Bodain, I think he
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
the MTC president, and he would every week he would ask me to give a talk. In the end of every week. And I was have to write it down. And I was like, It's
It
just
was
like I was like,
it was a
that's supposed to be. It's like I'm gonna do it because I'm supposed to give off tongues, right? So I'm gonna do it.
it was probably a trick. He was like, "This'll help her learn to speak the language."
Yeah, but yeah, I still remember one of the talks that I gave. I started speaking Russian, and I was like, and then people like, we don't understand. And then I was like, yeah, that's what we are, kind of what we're helping people to understand gospel language, I think,
Mhm.
uh, because we're like translators, from yeah to other normal people, not normal people in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I loved MTC. MTC, I called it my second home. Really, I
yeah.
loved it so much. It was wonderful, except for the fact that they lost my luggage. So I
Oh,
came with
no.
only carry-on suitcase. So I had no clothes except for what I had on me, and I
Uh-huh,
had some underwear. I didn't have even pajamas. Didn't have my toothbrush. Nothing. So sisters like somebody give me pajamas, somebody gave me like Samis gave me pajamas, for example.
uh-huh.
Somebody give me a brush for my hair, somebody give me this. And luckily we were able to go to the yeah, the same week, actually, first week I went through my endowments, and the same day I got my patriarchal blessing,
Oh,
the
wow.
same day. And then we went to day before we went to the store, like LDS, not LDS, whatever it's called.
Like the bookstore? Uh-huh.
The bookstore, got garments, so at least I had that.
Yeah.
So I
My
mean,
goodness.
I was just one challenge
Wow.
after another. But that was, I was still very blessed by people around me. It
Yeah.
was, yeah, still amazing experience.
Well,
Loved it.
Jack's message that he sent was about your MTC experience. And so he said, I had tremendous respect for her in our MTC group and in the mission as I saw her learn a new language. And even with very limited vocabulary in the MTC, she was a powerful teacher. Didn't matter what she said, you knew she knew the church was true. That's from Jack.
Oh, that's
So
very nice. Yeah.
yeah, he thought so highly of you and was very, very impressed with how you handled that situation, which I'm sure was not easy at all. So,
Yeah.
all right. So before we get into the mission,
Yep.
let's jump. You came home what month and year? It was 2005
5. That's what I wrote
and
it down. July 2005.
July of '05. Okay.
Yeah.
So you go home in July of '05. What has life been for you since then?
Well, I don't know, should I say it or not?
You should. Yes, please.
Okay, the funny thing is, because my goal is to get married in temple, it was still there. So I was done with my
Mhm.
mission. I was like, I'm going back home. So I'll have a queue of young men, return missionaries who would be there, that I would be able to date and stuff. But it
Yeah.
didn't happen,
Mhm.
obviously. So you're like, okay, now I'm single and I'm already done with my mission and I not really have job yet. And like, I mean, what am I supposed to do? You feel like you're between the earth and heaven somewhere.
Yeah.
And as well, there is a shock that when you're on a mission, you like walking like that above the ground. Sometimes like that, sometimes like in heaven.
Right.
And then when you're released, you boom on the hard ground. And
It's a
and
great
then
description.
you feel like so alone and just like, what am I supposed to do? So you're trying to grab as much as good memories that you have from a mission. That's what I was trying to do. That's why I gladly I was so glad to have Facebook, that because I was able to keep in touch, we're writing emails to members, to missionaries, to everybody who I served around. And that's when my
Yeah.
friend from LDS Link Up. She's like, no, she real friend, but she had friend Kevin and LDS Link Up. She said, do you know him? I was like, sure, yeah, I've met him. I know
Mhm.
him. And yeah, so and then as well, I started going to the university as well to study international business management. um, and and I was working in different jobs. I was working like an English teacher for like little kids, and
Wow.
a little tutor for little kids, and and I had no plans going anywhere. Like I had enough travel. I came home and I wanted, to find my soulmate and stay within Ukraine, Russia, Belarus. I don't know, there
Mm-hmm.
with Russian speaking people. And I was
Yeah.
like, that was my goal. Um, and I was actively going to all the conventions and conferences and stuff like that to be able to meet as many people, return missionaries as possible.
Right.
Yeah, and then we were chatting with Kevin. Start chatting with Kevin, get to know each other, just to writing questions, answers to each other, more and more. Yeah, and then I don't know. Should we tell the story later? What happened?
No, you should tell the
Should
story now. This is your
this
side.
is the moment.
We'll ask Kevin's opinion later on.
So it was several months when we were chatting since approximately March of year 2006. Yeah. Um, no, not 2006. Yeah. And then eventually he's like in sometime in August, he's like, oh, like we're chatting so much. How about I'll go and I'll come and visit you. And I was like, oh, okay, visit me. I was like, so many people said they're gonna visit me, and nobody like that up to now. So let's see if this one gonna come, right?
Yeah.
So and then he came, and then before he came, I was thinking how it's gonna be, because the thing is that when we met as a missionaries, I can tell you there are two times when I met him like a normal, it was a zone conference, so it was two zones or three zones getting together. So what do? You just shake with people's hands, and you're like, ah, hello, I'm sister blah blah blah, I'm from blah blah blah, and then the same from another side, and that's about it, from with different missionaries.
Yeah.
So I hear this, yeah, he's like, oh, hello, I'm Elder Verdegem, I'm from blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, okay, quite nice. Elder, would be nice to serve around him. And then, I'm busy with my companion, and then I hear him saying the same phrases in the same way to another sister there, a few meters away from me. And I was like,
Hmm.
what a flirt, you know?
That's so funny.
Um, and that was it basically. We never served around each other, never served even like in near anywhere, and there was no like, oh, my heart is good. No, there's nothing. Just normal, nice, look like a nice young man. That's about it. And but then when we were writing to each other, we were getting to know each other. We had many things in common, and it would be very interesting to get to know him. But missionary, he obviously didn't have facial hair. Now he sent me two pictures in this like almost half year of our conversations. We were just chatting, yeah, writing emails to each other.
Hmm.
Sent me two pictures. First picture, his official picture, he used to work in American embassy. So in a suit, he has goatee, and he's standing there with his colleagues, right?
Yeah.
A very official. Second picture, picture that. You get or no, he got a camera. He bought himself a camera, just normal
Hmm.
camera, I don't know. And he sits in a chair with this white t-shirt with a polar bear t-shirt. He sits like how guys sit in a chair, like
Uh-huh.
like this, like I don't know. And he gives this camera to his like colleague, and he flips the first picture like with the camera, very first one, and he sends this picture to me.
Jeez.
So I have two pictures. I have this one in a suit and that one in a chair. And I was like, I have no idea who am I gonna meet in Kiev. Who is this man gonna be?
Oh, that's funny.
Um, so I would be like sending him some pictures of myself, but that's all that I got. So I didn't know, because it was very interesting to chat with him. But I thought, what if we're gonna see each other? We're not gonna like each other, like at all, and
Hmm.
then it's gonna be super awkward 2 weeks, like of just I don't know, we'll not be able even to chat,
Yeah.
But then when I saw him at the airport, I was like, oh, it's okay, I like him.
Hmm.
So the stress kind of didn't go away, but at least that stress was gone. And I guess he liked me too. But yeah, and then eventually, eventually, we started dating, and yeah, blah blah blah. Um,
And you guys have how many kids
no, no,
now?
no, not nothing. Blah blah blah. It's nothing. No, no, no. But just um. Yeah, we got married first before blah blah blah.
Before the blah blah blah. Okay, that's good to know.
Oh my. Anyways, yeah, and then I was supposed to go to Belgium, and I was like, I would never think that I would go. Like Belgium of all countries, and yeah, here I am, 16 years in April. We'll be married for 16 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
We have three
Congratulations.
amazing. Thank you. We have three amazing children. Um, and yeah, I'm working here. I studied here as well because I had to learn another language when I came to this country.
Yeah.
Dutch. No, Dutch. It's Vlaams, like Netherlands,
Okay.
Flemish,
Flemish.
and it's like Netherlands, but not quite Netherlands. And it's not like Scottish and English either. So I don't know how to say this, but it's a little bit different. Kind of is, Kevin says. So yeah, had to learn this, and then I studied here in college as well in
Hmm.
Dutch, and I finished it, and I'm as an industrial drafter, and yeah,
Wow.
I'm working as a technical documentation officer at the moment. Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. That's amazing. All
Yeah.
right. Well, if you'd like, we can go back to the mission now. If you
Let's
have anything
do
else
that.
from the MTC, you're more than welcome to cover that. But let's go back to the mission and talk about
Oh,
what life was like in Scotland for you.
oh, MTC. I remember one thing, but probably I don't know if everyone actually who was in MTC remember this thing from President Boudin.
Hmm.
When I just remember this, when he was talking about the um, Jacob and his coat, multicolor thingy coat, but before the coat, right? When he was talking about him and the wife of Potiphar, when she told him, it's like, oh, come alive with me. No, love, no, it's not like in the movie.
Yeah.
But when she said that, and then he's like, and then President Boudin, when he tells this story, he had this jacket on his shoulder, and then he runs super fast and drops the jacket, just runs. And then he explained, that's how you should run from sin, you know? Yeah, it
That's
was
great.
was awesome. I think
Very
I'm
sounds like it was very impactful for you.
very. I think I'm gonna use this when I'll be teaching youth at some point again,
There you go.
since I remembered about it. Yeah.
All right, take us back to when you met the Vreens and
Oh
getting to
my
the mission
goodness.
home.
Oh my goodness. That's yeah. So imagine that I'm coming, like, again, my suitcase was still lost somewhere.
Did they ever find your suitcases?
Yeah,
Okay.
eventually, yeah, they
Wow.
brought it. But then my plane was late, I think. And then so everybody already who was supposed to come that day, they already came. So I
Mm,
was very, very last one. And I was like, I don't know where am I going, you know? And
yeah.
then I came, and then I had to go by train, I think, by myself. Oh, or no, 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 elders. Elders, they met me. So we come with elders by train. And
Okay.
then I'm getting off the train. Imagine that. And then I'm walking, and then I see this very tall woman with huge hands, like arms, and she's walking towards me. And then she's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Sister Bogomolova." And who are you? She's like, "I am your mother." And I was like, "No, you're not."
Oh my word! I'm your mother. That sounds like Sister Vreens. That's really funny.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm sister." And then I see the Sister Rain, and I was like, I knew that Sister and and President Rains were my mission presidents, and I was like, "Okay, I think I know those people." But this first reaction.
That's so
Like,
funny.
hilarious, yeah. And then an MTC. Imagine that this wall. I don't know if you remember this wall with all the pictures and where everybody's serving
Oh yeah.
and things. So I'm looking at this wall, waiting for uh, my trainer to be announced because I still don't
Yeah.
know. And I'm looking at those different sisters, and I was like, "Oh, that's amazing!" And I see this sister. I was like, "That's just like the coolest sister, probably on the mission."
Yeah.
I see her picture, and it was like Sister Bridge, eh? And she has like coolest hair, like a shortcut, like really funky, and she looks like she has this like pink cheeks, like very high up and stuff. And I was like looking at her, and I was like, oh my goodness, I wish she would be my trainer. I mean, how cool would that be? And
Yeah.
she was,
Really?
and she was,
Wow.
and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the best day ever.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So where was your first area that you served with Sister Breach?
Dundee.
In
Dundee.
Dundee.
We were whitewashing Dundee, as far as I know, because she just came to Dundee and I came to Dundee. So it was so much stress on her, poor sister Bridge, poor Jenny, and then me with my language skills. That I remember one of the first days where like our apartment. I don't know if have you been in Dundee? No.
I have, yeah.
So the apartment is like high up the hill. In the beginning of this hill, somewhere kiosks live, right? I
Right.
remember.
Yeah. I
And
remember
then
that.
farther away, it's our apartment, and then you have to go stairs to it. So once, I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 days in our mission. We when we're passing, go to the bus down, up and down, and then I see there's like a very handsome young man, and then with dark hair and blue eyes, and there's like a little bit curls and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, and just like very cute. So hello, he said hello. And the next day as well. And then he's like, one day he asks, he's like, what did he say? He's like, um, so like, who are you? I'm like, oh, okay, we're sister missionaries. Yeah, we're here on the mission. He's like, okay, so sister missionaries. So could you go out with me?
Oh,
And I, person who doesn't say that many words, correctly in English, I
yeah.
say, probably. And then my companion looking at me, I was like, what? And then when we were walking home, and I was like, I supposed to say possibly or something, but I said by
Yeah.
accident probably. And she's like, what is she saying? Like, what kind of like greenie I have here? Oh,
All you
but
had to
yeah,
say was, "And Sister Breach will come with me,
yeah,
and we will teach you about the
yeah.
Book of Mormon."
Yeah, eventually we had one discussion with him and his friend,
Uh-huh.
the first discussion, but it didn't go anywhere farther. They said, okay, yeah, you can come to church if you want to, but yeah. So that's
That's so funny.
yeah, but we had many cool things. Yeah, we had as our first uh, transfer call. We had pizza. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
very nice.
And at then it was like what was the zone, Dundee zone
Mhm.
or something. I remember we had hoodies as well. We got ordered hoodies, everybody
Oh,
who was in
yeah.
the zone, and we were like going playing sports in those hoodies. Yeah, it was awesome. It was so many amazing members. And it was
Yeah.
actually one of the sunniest areas that I've ever been in, Dundee.
Really?
It was so much sun, it's just incredible. As yeah, some
It
days
is a beautiful
it was too
place.
warm. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it was
I agree.
hills as well. We had to go
Very
up a lot.
yeah, very hilly. I remember that too.
Yeah, I was in Leaf Road,
Okay. Yeah.
and actually Kevin, he was in when he was in Dundee, he was in Bingham Terrace. Yeah,
Okay.
so
Nice.
it was called Leafites and Binghamites. So that was
I've never heard that before.
yeah,
That's pretty
you
funny.
never did.
No, that's pretty funny.
So yeah, I was from Leafites. Yeah. Um, Yeah, just so many memories. It's so nice to see like some of the members we still keep in touch, wish them happy birthday and stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
Just wonderful and beautiful. There's so many amazing experiences as well. Yeah, Sister Bridge, she was a great trainer. Really, I can see how she was stressing out because she wanted to do better than she was doing, but I think no one can do better than she did.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Goodness.
But I had a shock there as well. Like when you go on a mission, first on MTC and then with Sister Bridge. Oh my goodness! Because when you go on a mission, you just all of a sudden you lose your privacy, right? Completely.
Right. Yeah.
And then with Sister Bridge, it's like I'm going to the room to pray, to put my socks on, to take Book of Mormon from. I don't know, whatever. Just for a second. Another second, Sister Bridge, are you alright? You alright? And I was like, in the beginning, I was explaining to her because as a not speaking person, if you asked, "Are you all right?" you have to explain if you're all right or not all right, or how exactly you're doing. And
Hmm.
then should be asking this, "Are you all right?" several times, sometimes in an hour. Just if I would go to different room, she'd be like, just would be freaking out that I would not be alone in the room because in
Yeah.
the White Handbook it says, "Never leave your companion alone."
Hmm.
So, so except for toilet, even
Right.
then, sometimes she would be behind the door, like, "Are you all right, Sister
Oh my
Bogomolova?"
goodness.
And I was like, "Yes, I am all right." No, but yeah,
Oh,
had to get
wow.
used to that non-privacy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Mm. So yeah, and then after Dundee, yeah, I was there I think for ever for 4.5 months, 6 months, I don't know. And then I went to
You were with Sister Breach that long?
yeah, it was Sister Bridge. I think I was with her for how long? Yeah, 3 months. 3 months, I think it was.
Okay.
Still
Yeah.
3 months, not 4.5. 3 months. Yeah, and then I went from Dundee. I went to Ottawa with Sister Woodback.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You've heard about Sister Woodback. She still, yeah, I don't know. She had maybe 8 months to go when I was with
Okay.
her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but she was very tired. As Sister Hip was saying,
Hmm.
she was she had no desire to serve to do
Yeah.
anything. Um,
Was it
I
towards
mean,
the end of her
I just
mission that you were
felt.
with her?
I think it was she had 8 months to go, or I
Oh,
don't know,
okay.
6 months to go. But I
Hmm.
think she was like just mentally and physically tired, which I can understand completely. It's
Yeah.
it's very very difficult. Mission is it's totally different in comparison with normal life.
Yeah.
It's just very exhausting in many many levels. So and not all of us have you know this strength to get through it all. So she couldn't anymore, and it
Yeah.
was sometimes difficult with her. And I yeah, before as well, I remember now, before the mission, in the mission home, still I had to fill in those papers again. It was took forever, answer all these questions. One of the
Hmm.
question was, I with whom you are getting alone, with how many people, or like what kind of people you're getting alone with. And I said, I don't know, maybe everybody says that, maybe just me was so silly. And I said, I'll get along with anyone. I have a lot of patience. I have no problem. Never had like any problems with anyone. So then they're like, okay, here you go, Sister Woodbuck, enjoy.
That's really
And
funny.
that was challenging after being with super energetic Sister Bridge that like never stops, like this energizer. She was amazing. I mean, very inspiring, just perfect trainer, like
Yeah.
for a greenie, perfect. And then you get to Sister Whitbeck, who was slowing down. I was like trying to go. I was like, we have to go. We have to go find people. We have to think. We have to go shopping. We have to do go get to the internet to call to write to our families. We have to do this, and it always would take like a 1.5 an hour longer. I don't know. It always would take very very long, and I was like, just like, can we walk a little bit faster? I would say to her several times. She's like, no, I'm not walking faster. Well, if you want to walk faster, go ahead. And I was like, no, I can't without you. So
Yeah.
yeah, we had some challenges. I don't know. I had the feeling that she didn't really like me. Like, did she? Yeah, just was doing such a sometimes funny things. Like now thinking about it, but I was like, why were you doing those things? I didn't like them, and I would
Yeah.
tell her what I don't like, and she would do those things to me, what I didn't like. So I'm like,
Oh my gosh. Oh
I was like,
dear.
why?
Oh.
And then eventually, uh, she was done, or maybe it was exactly the end of her mission with me. I
Mhm.
don't remember, but I remember when she was leaving. Then I got Sister Barker
Oh yeah. Okay.
in Aloha, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, finally, a person that I know and I love. She will be serving with me."
Yeah.
Yeah, we had so much fun with Sister Barker. Like seriously, the funniest moments, funniest pictures that I have, like we were walking on the somewhere, and then we saw this trolley, like in Scotland very often you would see people would take those trolleys from the store, and they would
Yeah.
take them to their home, and then whatever, and then they would stop because they're on a certain distance from the store and they cannot roll them anymore. So
Right.
anyways, we saw once this trolley, but it was still rolling, and we're like, it's just perfect opportunity. So we would interns would climb in this trolley, would be rolling, sitting in this, and we're like taking pictures and just had fun running with this trolley. One was sitting in it. I don't know. We just was having fun.
That's so fun.
Um, yeah. And then, Sister Barker knows. And then this story about dandelions. At
Mm.
some point, I was like, she had she had hair, and then some point it was like so fluffy, and I was like, oh, your hair is so fluffy like a dandelion. And she was laughing so hard. And since then, I always would be giving her every birthday. I give her, send her a card with dandelions and things like that. Just the inside joke. Ah, just
Was it
awesome.
because of the humidity? Like her hair was really curly?
It wasn't curly. It was just fluffy. I don't know how to explain that.
Oh, okay.
Would just like if you use some oil or some products, you can put it flatter. But if you don't, it's just like, or if you run, I don't know, just so
That's
it's
funny.
funny. But yeah, she had some difficulties, health difficulties. Sister Barker with her yeah stomach, and
Mhm.
and that's why we couldn't run 100%.
Yeah.
Uh, but we did 200% from what we could do. Some
Right.
days, of course, she couldn't have enough energy through a lot of pain. But then the other days, or those half days when she could, we were really working super, super hard, while having fun as well. So we have
Right.
like many nice spiritual experiences. That's where we met Carrie Blythe.
Okay.
She was amazing. I think she was media referral, and we came to her, and she had problems. She was smoking a lot, like
Mhm.
smoking several, like I don't know, like half of the pack a day.
Wow.
And we started teaching her, and she like, I know that this is true. I know that I want to be baptized, but I know I'm supposed to stop smoking. So we started non-smoking program with her.
Okay.
And then her husband's like, huh, if Carrie will stop smoking, then I will believe in God. Kind of, like that will never happen. But you know what? From the first day she committed that she's not
Mhm.
gonna smoke, and she didn't touch a cigarette since then.
Wow. That's
So
really
she
amazing.
stopped, and she was following step by step all those. I still remember this non-spoken program, those steps. I'm still actually up to nowadays, up to now, like I was trying to tell other people and help them to stop smoking,
Mhm.
just like with using those tips. But of course, you need to. There's a prayer. There's a
Yeah.
counselor that you need to call to. There's other things, but if people want to stop smoking, it's always possible. That's why
Mhm.
I can refer to her all the time. And she did get baptized. It was amazing. She's
Wow.
still a super strong member of the church. Unfortunately, her husband, as far as I know, didn't get baptized. Didn't believe in God. I guess he didn't keep his promise. I don't know. Maybe he is. But yeah. She has 3 or 4 amazing children as well, and yeah,
That's
just
wonderful.
wonderful. Very strong member of the church. Yes.
Wow.
Um, yeah, in Aloha there's as well amazing people. Ian McLennan, I think, and
Hmm.
McLennan family. Like he
Yeah.
had, and I was like, seriously, like when you're looking at him, like, oh, he's typical Scottish person, like with this like gray wavy hair, and
Yeah.
it's just like just awesome. Just
Oh,
like
cool.
watching their family as well. It's so nice that we have Facebook, that we
Yeah.
can, see how those like little kids used to be. Now they have their own children. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Agreed. It's true.
So what was done after? Oh, Sister Barker. There was one thing that I just now remembered that I should mention.
Hmm.
We had a fire in our apartment.
What?
Oh wait, was it in Aloha? Was it in? I think I messed up. I think were we with? Anyways, with Barker, I remember 100%. I don't know Aloha or Air. I think Aloha, but we definitely had a fire. Okay, what happened? That by accident, me, I I don't know I think I left the cooker on, and we had electrical round cookers.
Hmm.
And then at some point we come home, and then we hear there's or there is oh what happened? There's a fire truck, and then we come and there's a fireman everywhere. We're like, oh, what's going on? And then we come to our apartment. We're like, oh, somebody left something in the cooker, but because nothing blew up. But and then we come to our apartment. It's our apartment. Door is broken.
Oh
Like
my gosh.
literally the lock is broken, and then we're coming in, and apparently that's because cooker was on electrical, so it was very heating all the time. So that plate that was behind the cooker, I think
Hmm.
it started melting a bit, so it started smoking.
Oh
And that
no.
smoke, neighbors saw the smoke, so they called the fire department. My fire department came here. We weren't home, so they broke in, and they turned off
Oh
the
my
cooker.
goodness.
Luckily, nothing was there, but the apartment was stinking, obviously, like this
Yeah.
melted plastic for weeks. And we had to wash and rewash our clothes, but so that was a downside. So poor Sister Barker.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, yeah, always, yeah. I I guess the clumsy person.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, especially to the worst of us, but or, or whatever, to the less luckiest of us or
Uh,
clumsiest. So yeah, after Sister Barker, I think then I went to Air,
okay.
and then I was serving with Sister Hip.
Okay.
I remember Air, just amazing, green, beautiful place. And I remember I was seeing Sister Hip. The first thing she said to me, she said, "We'll be like that." She said.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. That's some, enthusiasm. That's nice. Uh, but and then we had a very nice time with her. But then at the same time, she was so quiet. She was like very private, girl. And as well, like now I was listening to her podcast, and I was like, oh, that's why she was shy. And I didn't
Yeah.
know this. I didn't
Oh,
know that
okay.
she was shy. I thought it's just part of her character. And it's like because I didn't see she was shy, talking with elders and like among people that she knew around.
Right.
But with I guess she was shy. But there is funny part that I want to say with Sister Hip. I remember. I don't know if Sister Hip will remember this. I know she's gonna watch this podcast anyways.
Hmm.
So once we were passing on the street, and I always want to talk to everyone on the street and things like that. But oh, we had such a weird people that we would meet. And then once we were passing, and this old man, he's like, and Sister Hip, she has beautiful smile, this beautiful.
Hmm.
Um, and then he's like looking at us. We were talking like hello, smiling to him, and he's like, with those teeth, must be, yeah, how did he say? Must be nice to eat a sausage with those teeth. We're like, okay, thank you. And like, so
Goodness gracious. Did he not
yeah.
have a mouthful of teeth himself? Was he
No,
just
no,
being
no.
jealous?
He was super jealous. Yes. Of course, anyone would be jealous, but this beautiful smile,
Yeah.
just,
What a
it,
unique thing to say to someone.
I know. And I was still remember this, when I brushed my teeth, I was like, it would be nice to eat a sausage with this teeth.
Oh goodness.
Oh,
That's so
so
funny.
yeah. Then Sister Heap. Still remember when we would go to have our sandwiches with cucumber sandwiches with Sister Heap wrapped in those like plastic thingy. We would eat them on the field. Ah, just to remember those lunches. Yeah, just
Did
nice.
you make your own cucumber
Yeah, yeah,
sandwiches?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. We would make
That
them
sounds
and would go eat. It was like the tradition with Sister Hip. We would go and it's lunchtime. Then we need to stop, going, running, wherever we're running. Just sit down. We have lunch. We have half an hour to have lunch. So we'll just in the beginning, I was like kind of like my leg would be like, we have to run. And then at the end, I was like, no, we can enjoy peace at lunchtime. And then we can continue going. So
wow.
just funny experiences, I guess.
That's
Yeah,
cool. I like that that's a memory. That's a great memory that you guys shared the same lunches. Like, I don't know I ever did that with a companion.
yeah.
Boys are different though, right?
Probably they should be different, otherwise it would be boring, right?
Yes, very true.
So in air, oh, the air was like really, really amazing. And there was so many amazing members of the church. And there's another thing. We served with Sister Hip, I think 3 months, something like
Mhm.
that. And then we know there was as well Elder Stratton and Elder Bear. Ah, yeah, exactly. That's when we baptized Fatih Ketenji.
Oh,
Oh, it
okay.
was so funny on his invitation. Imagine the branch or ward mission leader. He made those invitations for Fatih, and instead of Fatih, he wrote Farty. And then what we had to do, we had to
Oh,
color R
no.
on every invitation, color R. Like that would help, the situation.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, why, why?
Oh, that's so funny.
Um, yeah, and he chose to be baptized in a river. So we all, with the branch air, we went on a trip to the river. River was brown or orange, like
Oh,
very
no.
like with a lot of. And then we were passing there as well. It's like you're passing through swamp because there was like that. That's when Kevin midges, right? Those little.
Midgies. Yeah.
There was like clouds of those midges that you had to go through, and I was like, yeah, I've seen those. We were just talking not so long ago with Kevin. We were in the lift, and I saw one of those midges like flying in the lift with us, and I was like, I've seen those, face to face. I've seen those midges.
That's amazing because you're the first
PTSD.
person, Sasha, you're the first person that has mentioned midgies. I haven't heard that term in so long. So thank you for
Yeah,
bringing that
yeah,
up. I forgot about the bugs. Goodness.
yeah. Only then, only like in the forest areas, you would see them, and then next to the river. And then I remember exactly like how we had to sing, and then Sister Hip had to sing in solo, and I was like, "Go ahead." And she would be like singing. I was like, oh. So yeah, but
That's
they had
fun.
to be baptized in that very cold water. I've heard and super
Oh yeah.
dirty. Yeah. So, but yeah, it worked. He was a very funny guy. The Fatih. Oh, he is still is.
Yeah.
Yeah, just chatting with his wife, with Celestia on sometimes on Facebook. Yeah,
Fun.
It's really, really nice. Oh, and so we at the end of our tour, like 3 months, then we know that sisters they were gonna whitewash the area, and
Hmm.
we probably think probably they're gonna close sisters area,
Yeah.
and they're gonna leave just elders area. Elders were next to their apartment was next to the church in our
Okay.
building. And so what we do, we go and tell all of our investigators, of all last actives. So all the members, we tell them farewell, with the elders. So we write very thorough thing about every person that we visited to elders. We write
Hmm.
it all down and write our like area book, everything, bring in order. And then when transfer comes, elders have to leave and we whitewashing.
Oh, whoa! They
And
took
elder
everybody out.
They took
Wow.
they took elders away,
Oh.
but they kept sisters. They kept us, but we had to cover and elders in our area.
Oh, wow.
So we had to not only move to the elders' apartment that weren't ready for sisters to move in at all.
Elder Bear, did you not clean your apartment like Sister Vrain said?
Yeah, Elder Stratton sure didn't, and and plus they didn't have any order in area book or anything like this. They
Oh my
didn't
gosh.
like obviously they thought, oh, we're staying, so we're not supposed to do anything, but they're supposed to do it anyways, even if sisters are not moving,
Yeah.
out. Or so basically they had to say it in 2 words to us and stuff like that, and they left. And then we had to like wash the apartment, wash the floors, wash the thingies, everything, so that would be livable um together. So what was that? Yeah. And that was the time when Sister Hip left and Sister Samis came. So we had to do it with Sister
Fun.
Samis. And Sister Samis, as she was saying, that was so true. She came from this amazing companion, Sister McConkie, I think. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
And she came, so, and then to me, again, to the person that she was struggling with before with her language. And now she's like, she was like this all the time. And I was like, oh my goodness, like how can I help this? I wanna serve with her, I wanna do stuff. And she like, first of all, this apartment, this area, plus me, that probably that didn't help in the situation. And then so I remember this once when we because every time if we would have to go somewhere, she would just go, she would be just stressed, and we wouldn't be even talking to me. I remember how stressed she was in the
Mhm.
beginning. And then at some point in our scripture study in the morning after she came the next day, I remember I was reading this in scriptures, that when was it? I just right now so stressed. I don't remember where it is, but it's anyways when people were under the bondage of Lamanites, and
Oh, yeah.
then but they were praying, and then this bondage was lifted, so they didn't feel this anymore, this difficulty of being under the bondage of Lamanites. and
Mhm.
i and I was reading this, and I was sharing with Sister Samis, and I was like, just with time, just talk to your Heavenly Father, and with time you will feel this burden, whatever you feel right now, it's going to be lifted as well, and you will be able to to be happy yourself again. um just don't give up, just pray, and I'll praying for you as well, it's going to be all right. And then it did, and then it did. And in a little bit of time, she felt better, and then actually we had amazing time together. We were
Wow.
really like flying in the clouds because we were so busy. We were talking with everyone. We had so many um yeah, so many people to see, so many discussions, so many things that, and the word mission leader was so involved in air, or in air,
Mhm.
and yeah, in air. It's always like so amazing. They always like, okay, what can we do, how can we help? and we were, and actually I know Sister Samia said that it was when Sister McLean was with her, but actually it was when she was with me, when we had two areas, they joined two areas, and it was really impossible sometimes to cover, to go from one side to another. And
Yeah.
plus we had many media referrals that was just
Oh.
impossible to cover, and even on one day. And that's why Sister Summit was talking with mission president, and then on one zone meeting or so, the APs, they brought us assistance, they brought us keys
The
for the
car?
car. So they
Yeah.
brought us a car, the gray Corsa, and as well, we didn't have vacuum cleaner. I was like, it's not possible continue cleaning this apartment without vacuum cleaner. So they brought
Yeah.
us and car keys and a vacuum cleaner. I was like, this is the best Christmas ever. We get and a car and a vacuum cleaner. Just seriously, what else can you wish for?
Wow, that's great.
So yeah. And then we were like traveling, we were able to travel everywhere. And it was nice that for media referrals, we didn't have to use miles. I mean, that was great because we had many people to see all over the place. So I'm so glad that we had a car. So glad that Sister Samis could drive with no problem because I didn't have driver license. I still don't. I will study. No, I mean I have theory. I have my temporary driver license, which I'll start studying driving actually in May. In May, yeah.
Okay. Very good.
So that will,
Another goal for you.
yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
No, okay. When I will get my driver license, I already said to my father-in-law, it will be like check, but I still, have plenty of drivers around me. So, like you said, your daughter gonna learn driving before you. I was like, perfect, one more driver. I mean,
That's
so
funny.
yeah, it is funny, but yeah. So yeah, and then oh, and then after air, I had to go to Cambuslang.
Oh,
Cambuslang, it was Sister Jane's, this
okay.
Glasgow area.
Yeah.
Teeny tiny branch. What, 6 people?
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, it was not so many. I think it was maximum 10 or 9. So it was not so
Interesting.
many.
Hmm.
We had like 2 sets of elders. Oh, forgot. Huh. Was Elder Cook one of them? No, Elder. When I was serving in Dundee, I think Elder Cook was there. No, wait. I don't Where no, in when I was in Edinburgh, I think that's when Elder Cook was in this somewhere in the area. Oh, maybe. No, not there, not in Cambuslang. I think Elder Cook was somewhere else. But Elder Cook would be nice to see him as well on the podcast if he wasn't there yet.
We've been in touch with him. He was scheduled to come on and had a cancellation, so he's a future person we'll have on.
Because his brother served in our ward here in Belgium.
Oh, really? That's amazing. How about that?
And right now our mission president in Belgium here in Belgium Netherlands mission, it's Elder Watson
That's
from
right.
Scotland. Yes.
Yeah. Daryl. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just so nice. And yeah, his son was serving here as well on a mission in our ward
Oh,
like a few
really?
years ago. Yeah.
I
And we
didn't
had
realize that's where Kyle went. That's really cool.
so we had Elder Watson and Sister Watson at our home not like maybe half a year ago.
I think I
For
remember
tea.
when you shared those pictures, or at least I think Daryl shared them
Yeah,
too.
he
That's
did.
right.
He took a
I
picture.
do remember seeing that. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
It's so nice. I never met him obviously because I never was in what is it
He
where's
was
he
in the
from?
Dunfermline ward.
Dunfermline. Yeah, I never was there. It was elders here. I remember, and my time was Elder Draka Cardos there and somebody else. But yeah, I
Okay.
don't remember. Um. So yeah. So Sister Jane's. Uh. It's yeah. It's another challenging companionship. She will admit that that we were completely different. Like in the
Hmm.
beginning, I thought it's gonna be fine because I mean, she likes to cook, I like to cook. I mean, at least something in common.
Yeah.
But then we always had an argument. Like, for example, we were like when we're teaching, she wants to split it like and say like I'm saying this and you say this, and
Hmm.
that's it. We're not adding anything. We're not saying, we're not mixing those things. But sometimes when when she started talking, and then I see person start like yawning or like not interested anymore, or has another question, then I would break in and I would be like, how about this? How about that? And then would be conversation, would be nice and powerful discussion, and after that you would be happy about it. But
Hmm.
no, we had super strong discussion with Sister Jane's. Why am I interrupted? Why did we didn't stick to our like
The
notes
the
and
plan.
thingies?
Yeah.
Teacher now, she doesn't like to be interrupted.
Yeah, she's a teacher. It's true. So yeah, we always had that, and I was like, at some point we even had only once in my mission when we had so many those disagreements that we were talking with our district leader, Elder. What's his name? Ah,
Cook was her district leader.
yeah, but he wasn't then there or right away. Maybe he eventually changed.
Hmm.
No, I think he was somewhere else. Elder. He liked heavy metal. I remember this elder.
Heavy metal.
Yeah, I was like when at some point we were or it was his companion that liked heavy metal, but
Was it?
he was such very, very quiet elder, quiet.
Was it Elder Fish?
No,
I know he
no,
was a heavy metal guy.
but he doesn't look like heavy metal exactly. But then I was like, so what kind of music do you like? He's like, heavy metal, like very, very heavy. I was like, okay, well, I like soft rock. Yeah,
You'll remember
and
it. I'm sure you will.
yeah, if I remember, I'll say it. But anyways, and then so we had to have this interview. We had to have I have to talk to him, and then Sister James have to say it, and then we had to like kind of say it in front of him and things like that. But it really looked like like this scene when Voldemort was Harry was like would be like with those with those sticks. That's I think that's how I remember it at least.
Forget to tell that story.
That's pretty
Oh
funny.
yeah, well. Yeah, so didn't really work. But I think we still stuck with her. We were with her at least 3 months for sure.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, at least we had to work with many like class actives. We had many very nice discussions. I mean, we tried. We tried our best. I
Oh, I
mean,
bet. Goodness.
you cannot get along, I guess, with everyone, even though you think you can get along.
No, you can't. That's true.
And then the last area was very amazing area. I was in Edinburgh. In Edinburgh, together with Sister Barker and Sister Samis again.
Oh
That
wow.
was great, a great, really great finale of our, how to say this, of our mission, because we started off together in MTC, then we served separately with each of them, have amazing memories, and then we're together at the end. It was like, like with best friends.
Yeah.
What can you wish for? And then we were really like, we were serving hard, but at the same time, Sister Barker, she was still struggling with her health, even though
Yeah.
and that's why she had to go home many times back then with other companions. So
Hmm.
she extended her mission uh, farther, so that once she feels better, she can a little bit serve a little bit longer. But
Hmm.
anyways, but when she was with us, with three, she had to stay often with Sister Vreens because we have so much to do, we have so many investigators, like we had so many investigators, incredible. We didn't have time for dinner appointments, we had to cancel every dinner appointment that we had because just so much work. I remember when we were passing and elders, they would be like, "Oh, come on, sister, we have barbecue. Like, just come by this evening." We're like, "We don't have time. I'm sorry. We have to like we have from one discussion to another discussion. We really didn't have time. It was like such a busy because at the end of your mission, you feel like that's it. You're running out of time. If you're not gonna do it now, you're not gonna do it ever. And then
Right.
so I had this feeling to talk with everyone, really literally with everyone that you see to share the gospel with. Because you're running out of time. And if I'm gonna get to the very last day of my mission, on the very, very last day, on the like when we were coming back with Sister Barker and Sister Samis, that this apartment in um, Edinburgh, and on the street behind there's a house of J.K. Rowling,
Oh, really?
and I'm
Wow.
like a huge, huge fan of Harry Potter. I read like few books up to that time when I had to go on a mission. And then we're walking on that street, and I see in front of me J.K. Rowling in the
No
hat and
way.
the glasses like this. And I know that it's J.K. Rowling. I mean, I know who she is.
Yeah.
So my companion's like, really? I was like, yeah, that's her. And I was like, I'm going to talk to her. And they was like, okay, just you go, you're a big fan. So I am going to her, and I was like, "Oh, hello, can I talk to her? Like or can I talk to you about the family?" She's like, she like got scared, and then she got a phone call, and she's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I'm okay. I'm almost I'm going home, almost home. I guess for security or something."
Oh, wow.
So, and I was like, "Oh, I just wanted to," because we're talking with people about families here. I gave her family proclamation. She's like, "Okay, thank you." And then she went into our where our apartment is, through this door. You can walk through the like there is passageway to her street where her house is. So she went there, and she went to her home. And I was like turning to Sister Barker and Sister Simon. I was like, I just talked to J.K. Rowling. It was like the best day ever. And this is the proof why you should be like using every single moment, because otherwise it would never
Yeah.
happen.
That's really
So
cool. What a unique experience.
yeah, I was so happy. So now that's what I'm saying to the every missionary that comes to our home. I was like, don't I mean use your time just to the fullest. Talk to everyone you see. Don't be afraid, they're not going to see you again. Just go
Yeah.
talk to them, share gospel with them. And yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah, there is
Wow.
no time to waste, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. What a cool story.
So yeah, mission was just amazingly difficult on the same time, but on the same time we had so many incredible miracles, like especially with Samis at the end, because with Barker we had many miracles, and uh, especially with Samis because we already learned to recognize them.
Hmm.
So basically every day there was so many miracles. For example, we were walking, and I don't remember, she was our media referral, or we knock on her door, and this lady, she opens the door, she invites us in, and she tells us like, for years I see those men with white shirts, with those badges, they would be going knocking doors, and they would never come to my door. And now she's like a blessing. Oh yeah, she saw advertisement on TV, so she called that somebody would come, and we came to her, and she like, finally, like after all those years.
Oh,
It
wow.
was just so amazing.
That
Yeah.
is. I love that. Well, you spent the last little portion of your mission in Edinburgh. Do you have any of your favorite memories of President Sister Vrange from that time, or even from the mission overall?
Well, I personally, I wasn't a huge fan of the of how the the mission was run by President Brins. I just thought it could have been like I like I just didn't understand some of the things. But I probably that's how it goes. I mean, that's probably I would be if I would be missions president wife, or and my husband would be mission president. Probably we would be as well misunderstood by some
Hmm. Sure.
missionaries and thingy, because yeah, I was just didn't understand. For example, I was doing my best. I was living up to the like very last thing on the mission. I would be talking to everyone on like on the bus. There would be no bus, right? When I would not be talking. I mean, I would be trying to do this on every. I mean, if I can testify, I would be testifying just because. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Just it's amazing message to share.
Hmm.
And then I thought I would I would love to train as well. There was so many people would be coming, but I never had opportunity to train. I never even was a senior companion ever. Uh,
Interesting.
why? I don't know. I didn't understand, and I was like, so what else could have I have done? And my companion sister Barker, she trained twice,
Wow.
and I didn't
Interesting.
train once. And
Hmm.
then I was like, okay, at least, yeah. So on the same time, so this is kind of bittersweet kind of thing, and I don't understand why it just didn't happen. And I never could talk to President Greens. I would always write to him, always. I never complain actually about anyone like ever at all. Just now, I think I complain more. I never did because I figured it's all learning opportunities.
Hmm.
We and as well, everybody have their own, like how I like to say it, cockroaches in their heads. We all
Right.
struggle with something.
Yeah.
we
It's very
all
true.
we all have fighting our own battles, like this Don Quixote. We
Hmm.
see our own thing is the moles, whatever it's called in English, mole
All hills.
molehills.
Molehills. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we go towards them, and even though they don't want us to fight, we're still fighting. Like everyone struggle with this, even those companies that I had difficulty with, because they were struggling with their own
Hmm.
things, and they had to go with me as well through that. I had my things, so I can understand that. Yeah, that's probably, yeah, that's probably many things happened or didn't happen. But I'm
Yeah.
super, super glad still that I was able to. Oh, yeah. So with President Rins, I was always writing to him all positive things because, again, and I was trying to talk to him every time, but he would be replying to me just standard phrases, the same, always the same standard phrases. There was nothing personal in
Hmm.
this.
Interesting.
There would be nothing like that. I would feel that's okay, he's really talking to me, he really listening, he'll listen to what I just said to
Hmm.
him, because it would be always like, great, you'll be great. uh yes, Sister Bogomolova, yes, yeah, just go ahead. And that's basically it. So there is nothing. Yeah, I guess I was looking for something, you know more, yeah, personal. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I think the
different
the thing that
people.
I learned, because I was pretty similar to you in that, Sasha, where I felt like I was getting a little bit more of the regular things that President Vreens would say in letters and in correspondence. And I learned later that it was because I wasn't a problem. He had so many other missionaries who had
That's
way,
true.
way bigger things that were going on that I was unaware of, that he was in the midst of handling
That's so,
or
yeah.
giving direction to. And so in hindsight, I've stepped back and thought, you know what? I'm grateful that I wasn't an additional problem to him, and that when I had problems, it was me getting along with someone more often than not, or just making sure that I was doing things as best as I could. And he was like, "Great, good job, keep going." That encouragement that felt very scripted. In hindsight, I look back and I go, you know, I think it was because there was trust there, that he just saw me as someone who he knew would go and do the things he was supposed to go and do. And it very well could have been the same for you. And I'm going to tell you right now,
Yeah, I
as
understand.
as a trainer of
Understand.
a missionary, that's the hardest part of the mission. So be grateful that you didn't train missionary because it was not easy. It was
Hmm.
definitely a challenge that was
Hmm.
something that if I could go back and do it again, I would do it completely differently. But because in the moment you kind of feel like, okay, I got to polish my shoes, I got to make sure that I'm up on time and doing everything, very
Yeah,
by the book,
it's
that
true.
I forgot about being who I am
Yourself.
as
Yeah.
far as my personality is concerned. And so,
Yeah.
very interesting thought.
Understand that's probably I would probably be a really bad trainer if I'm thinking
No,
about it
you
right
wouldn't.
now.
No, you wouldn't.
I probably would be like, no, no step right, no left, just forward. I'd be like probably freaking out. But
No.
yeah, but you're right. No, everything at the end, everything worked out well. I guess there is
Mhm.
only one sad thing that happened. Really, that um, yeah. Just when I had to go back, I had a lot of memorabilia. I had a lot of like things that I remembered
Mhm.
that I wanted to keep, or there's like some things that we got as presents from members for whatever Christmas. So I
Mhm.
wanted to keep it for my mom, for example, them or whatever. Um, so I had this said in the papers that when we're leaving home, when we're going home, we can have two suitcases and one carry-on case. So I had two suitcases and one carry-on case. When I came to the MTC, they said, no, 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 no. You can have only one suitcase and one carry-on case. So imagine I had one suitcase that I had to open up both suitcases and throw away things that I couldn't take with me. So I had to throw
Wow.
away so many things that were super dear to me, or that I was saving all this time. But I was like, I cannot, take. I have to choose or this or that. So I'm
Mhm.
choosing one of the things. And
Yeah.
then when I was done throwing, because I remember I was standing in MTC. Oh, no, not MTC, right behind the mission home, next to this big, huge garbage bin. It was like throwing things away. And I'm thinking, what can I fit into this one carry-on, one suitcase? And then I see the members or the parents are coming. People are happy, people enjoying this last day, and I'm here like crying next to this bean, like.
Oh,
So that was
what a
the
horrible
saddest
experience.
moment. Yeah. And then imagine when I was done, I was this suitcase, I have one carry on, one thingy, throw away everything else. I come to the um just with all the tears and stuff, come to the MTC, and then Elder Lemon, he's like, why are you crying? I was like, well, I had to from two suitcases had to get to one. He's like, why haven't you told me that? I would be able to send it back to your home, would pack it in. I was like, "No, why,
Oh, no.
now it's too late."
Goodness.
So yeah, unfortunately I couldn't bring yeah, things that I wanted to, but yeah, it's okay. I guess there are some things that you leave behind.
Mhm.
Oh, so, oh,
No,
but
I
it's okay.
understand that.
It's
Yeah, I
okay.
mean, I remember one of the things that I did my last day of my mission is I had one of my favorite pairs of shoes that I had resold twice during the mission that I had just walked through, and I was like, "These shoes are no good anymore," and I had to throw them away. It's just those little things that are like mementos. I wanted to come home in a pair of shoes that were beat up,
I can imagine.
but at the same time, I was like, I'm just gonna bring this home so I can throw it away anyway. But you have those memories that
Mm,
are precious, and obviously journal entries are obviously the most
yeah.
important thing beyond like some of the physical things is just the people and
The
the
memories,
experiences. Right, exactly.
pictures I'm really happy that I have many fun pictures. Um, Not
Yeah.
so long ago, we were asked for all used to be missionaries to wear our missionary tag again
Oh, wow.
to go to the stake conference, and we had to send some of the pictures from our mission as well.
Hmm.
and they were shown on the big screen on a slideshow. And it was so fun to see like all our like stake president, like like there used to be bishop, and they miss
Hmm.
like all our friends and people that we know, and ourselves as well, like missionaries again. And you see there's so many missionaries around. Some people really thought that we were missionaries, but
Yeah, I'm
we
sure.
weren't anymore. But yeah, it was a great, just great time. Yeah.
Remember,
Every member is a missionary. That's true.
That is true. I can appreciate that. Well,
We are.
Sasha, thank you so much for taking us through your memories, and I'm sure that those that are listening to this will be so glad that you took the time to share, especially your companions. Is there any other of your favorite missionaries from the mission that you can recall that you haven't heard from yet that you'd like to ask them by calling them out to come on the podcast in the future?
Oh yeah, I was on exchanges with many sisters. Of course, there was those, yeah, fun moments. Yeah, with Sister McGowan was in exchanges
Hmm.
once. Sister Malin, yeah, if she not gonna agree, but she was cool. Like
We're
I really
we're
thought she
working
was
on
one
her.
of the coolest. She was one of the coolest sisters. I was like, oh, I would like to serve with her. I remember I really would want to serve with Sister Hart. I never did serve around her, but somehow I felt like, oh, she looked like a role model of a sister missionary. Um, yeah, but Sister Bones, I've heard so many things because she was trainer of my trainer. She was trainer of Sister Bridge.
Oh
Sorry,
yeah.
I would
Okay.
love to hear Sister Bridge, of course, Jenny.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would be possible. But if she would be there, if she would, please. I mean, it would be
You
so
said her
cool.
you said her first name is Jenny?
Jenny Bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see
I
if I can track her down.
yeah, I see her like on the Facebook there. Sometimes I write to her and things like that. But I know she's a physical therapist, I think, or
Oh
something
wow.
like that. Or yeah, just manual therapist or something. So she's really, yeah, awesome. Oh
Well,
my goodness. Yeah.
ultimately what you can do is when this is published here in probably about a week's time, you can share it with them and say, "Hey, this is something that I'd love to hear your side of. So if you want to come on, put them in touch with myself or just with the S.E.M podcast email address, the S.E.M podcast at 51spila.com, and then we can get them on the future schedule.
Yeah.
But I know for a certainty that Sister Bond is coming on. She's on our schedule in the next month and a half, something like that. So
Awesome.
you will hear from her. But
Yeah, who else? Yeah, elders, many elders. Elder Bear, he was, I guess, but I didn't listen to his podcast, or he wasn't there
yeah,
yet.
no, he was one of the first ones. And the funny
Yeah.
thing is, he actually called while we were on while we were talking. And he wants to come on again, and he
Yeah,
feels
let's
like he
do that.
has more to share. So
Yes, of
he's
course,
one that will come on
he
again.
probably changed, since then. Yeah, Rory Grant would be fun. When I was listening to Sister McGowan,
Hmm.
I don't know, many people, because we were wondering back then. I remember it was once for Christmas we were allowed to watch Shrek, I think, as a
Okay.
zone
Uh
or
huh.
something, and we were together, elders and sisters, and then I remember we had such a vibe from Sister McGowan and Elder Grant. We had the vibe like I know they were like uh, funny together. They always were having fun, kind of not flirting, but missionary flirting. You can say, right? Like
Yeah.
how you're allowed. But so we were like, we were almost sure that they're probably gonna get married after they are home. I don't
So
know
funny.
why. It's just that's I just want to like throw it right there, but I will ask Jade about it as well if she
Okay.
remembers this.
That would be funny. I'm sure she would respond. We are talking to Rory in a couple weeks too, so I'll ask
So
him
ask.
about his relationship in air quotes with Sister McGowan as being funny, the funny pair on the mission. That'd
Yeah,
be fun.
there are a few more elders. I don't know. I remember Elder. What's his name?
Aurelio,
No.
no?
Yeah, that I remember really as well.
Hmm.
Martinez.
Okay, Elder Martinez. Yeah.
Um, British. There was Elder Raw.
Row your boat.
Not that one. I forgot his name.
If you remember, you can always send it to me,
Yes,
and we can
but
certainly.
there is full list. Then I'll send you the full list of people that I remember from my mission. It's gonna be a big list, you know.
Hey, that's okay. I mean, as Jack and I have
That would
discussed
be
in the
awesome.
past, we've got so many amazing connections to Scotland, and so we're
Yes,
we're grateful that we have wonderful sisters like yourself that are our sisters from the Scotland Edinburgh Mission. So Sasha, thank you for taking time to share with us. We've really enjoyed speaking with you tonight.
yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's. I love this. I love listening to the podcast. So I'm gonna continue listening to them with a great memorabilia and source of memories and just a joy and
Yeah.
happiness. It's
Well,
awesome.
we're glad to bring joy. I mean, that's what it's all about. Is we all had a wonderful experience in Scotland, apart from it being incredibly difficult. But
That was
you
and
know what I mean.
cold. Yeah,
Cold. Well, thank you, Sasha. We'll turn the time over now to Kevin, but thank you again.
you're welcome.
All
It's
right.
nice
Bye.
talking to you.
Nice to talk to you.